man, I've seen some crazy stuff, man. But that was early. That was early in my bit. Within the first 5 years, when I seen that, it kind of like set the tone for me, for a lot of other things that was to come later on down the line. But that kind of like set the tone for me. That it won't doing no planning there. It won't doing no joking at all. When it got to the point where someone grabbed a knife, it was serious.
All right, folks, we're sitting here with Banky, and it's been a little while since we've seen you last, Banky.
Yes, it has, man. How you been doing?
Doing pretty good. A lot of people thinking that me and you had some kind of a falling out because we haven't seen each other, so...
Nah, I was just telling people that on the channel I'm on, man, on Banky Pound channel. I asked about you, or I mention your name almost in every video I do, but I just telling somebody that the other day, I was like, life happens, real stuff happening right now, so you got things that you got going on and I got things that I got going on, so sometimes those, two things don't meet at the same time. But I told y'all from the beginning, I tell y'all again, as long as I'm doing this, I'm probably gonna be over here too. So you got two places you can see me, here or on Banky Pound channel. So yeah, there's nothing going on with me and Joe cool, man, so.
And just to reiterate, if you guys aren't following Banky Pound, it's Banky Pound on everything, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. And real quick, let me just throw this one out here as well. Don't forget about our good friend Dave's
Yes.
World. He just started his own YouTube channel, so you guys make sure that you check him out also.
I watched it too, Dave. You're funny, Dave. You're real funny.
Yeah, he's a funny guy, that's for sure.
Real funny, Dave.
Sometimes he thinks he's funnier than me, and sometimes I take a little bit of offense to that. But he's a super funny and good dude.
Yeah, good dude.
Banky, today I want to do a part 2 with you of a video that we just did recently, talking about some of the crazier things that you saw in prison, the craziest things.
Yeah, I've seen a whole lot of them. There's so many to pick from, but yeah, I've most definitely seen a whole lot of crazy things in 33 years, a whole lot of them, man. So, it all depends on which one you want to talk about, when, what time, what era. It's an infinite amount of them because prison is crazy,
Well, we're definitely going to get into that in this video.
Yeah.
Prior to getting into that, let's talk about a couple of other things. Are we okay to mention the fact that you just went and got a COVID test?
Oh, yeah. I just went and got a COVID test because I had came in contact with somebody who had COVID. So I had to just go get a test just for my own precaution to make sure I was all right. I got the test. I'm clean, I'm good, thank God, I'm healthy. I didn't get it, and I pray for the people who I came in contact with who did have it. They're doing better, they're getting rid of it, or as they say, it's getting better. So there's no cure for it, but it gets better and then it either subsides or leave. So they're on the right track to doing that, so all is well. But like I said, it was just something, it was a scare, it was something that you got to take serious out here. So I hope all y'all out there wearing your mask, wearing gloves, because it is a serious thing. And so I know as time go on, a lot of us get a little lax and we start, being more loose, but you got to stay on point and you got to be aware of this stuff, man, because it has taken some people's lives. So we got to be serious about that. So that's what I was doing. I was doing my due diligence, make sure that I was safe, make sure that I was all right. So I am. So thank God that I am. So. Yeah.
And that was part of the reason why me and you didn't get up any earlier than right now, because you were waiting on those results to get back.
I wanted to be safe, make sure that if I didn't have nothing on me that I was bringing to you. You know what I'm saying? So it all worked out and it's all good. I'm here now and we moving forward.
Well, let's get ready to get into this. I'm going to give you a couple of topics to think about from the time that you spent in prison. And I want you to share with us some of the more memorable, crazy things that you remember from these particular prison things.
Okay.
And the first one that I want to give you is, the prison shower, Banky. Any prison that you go to, the shower is going to be different from institution to institution. Seeing a single man shower may be not as common as seeing a shower where multiple or a lot of people are in the shower together. And as you think about, some crazy things that you remember from the prison shower, maybe a fight or, just anything, How common is a a single man shower versus a shower where you've got the entire cell block essentially up in there?
I'm thinking now, with that question right there, I don't think I've been on but two prisons, the Wall and Mecklenburg. If if I'm not mistaken, off the top of my head, those are the only two prisons that I've been on that had the single shower. All the other showers, all the others, no, that's incorrect because the later prisons now, like Greensville, Nottoway, and all that, they got the single showers, but they different. But when I mean single, like on Mecklenburg and on in the Wall, it was like literally one single shower. But when you got these newer moderate prisons, they single showers, but right beside it is another shower. It's separated by a wall, but it's another shower. It's like four, two on this side, two on that side. So I guess you couldn't consider that single shower. But you also have the prisons that like I've been on, like in Southampton and Powhatan and places like that. They got the wide open showers. It's like 6 to 8 dudes in the shower, and yeah, those could be some crazy situations and some deadly situations. And did you bring that up? I can tell you one of the craziest things I've seen, and that's why I say it's so much stuff in my brain that happened over the years. When you say something, it might trick a thought in my brain. So we hadn't even talked about this prior. So when you just said that about the shower, I can think about the time that I actually helped stop a dude from getting killed in the shower because he went in the shower to fight. Because that's what they do on Powhatan and places like that. They got a big shower upstairs, and in order for them not to go, get locked up or get in trouble, if dudes want to go one-on-one or something like that, they'll go upstairs to the shower and they'll go in and they'll close the door, and dudes will stand outside and make sure don't nobody run in and jump them or whatever, and they go in there and fight. So I can remember this one incident where these two young guys went in there, man. And one of the dudes was more timid, but he was gonna go anyway. But you could tell that he was a little bit more scared than the other guy. But he went in there, and they was in there fighting, and dude opened the door, man, and you could see him in there fighting. They was against the wall, and all of a sudden, then the dude just started bleeding. They swinging at each other, and they clutched up, and they up in the corner, and the dude just started bleeding. He's just bleeding everywhere, and he backed up off of the dude, and he was looking at himself bleeding. And when he looked, the dude had a razor blade in his hand. So the dude was actually cutting him, man. He cut him across the neck, cut him across the face, cut him across the chest. I mean, he was bleeding. It was just like blood coming down everywhere. It was just like the same equivalent to you being in the shower and the water just running over you like that. That's how the blood was flowing down his body. And he just looked at himself and he didn't know what was going on. And I could see the panic set in his eyes, but I guess he was in shock or whatever because he was still trying to fight. And I was like, boom, I was walking by and I looked and the other dudes was right there and I'm like, man, y'all got to get him, man. He gonna bleed to death, man. And he was like still trying to go at the dude and he just lunged at him again and the dude cut him again. Wow. And I was like, wow, man. So dude, we was hollering at the dude, telling him to stop, telling him, leave him alone, leave him. He coming at me, man. He said, man, leave him alone, just come on out. So he came out, he left. Dude was just sitting in there bleeding. He was like, he cut me, man. He cut me like, man, you better go to the hospital, dog. You gonna die if you don't go to the hospital. You bleeding real bad. You got to go, man. So he started to walk out to the shower, man. We grabbed him because he got weak right there and he started like passing out. So me and another dude, we picked him up. We took him all the way down the stairs. We took him to the front bubble where the bubble was, and we told the people that he need help, And they was like, oh, what's wrong with him? Because all they see is blood, blood, blood. And they came and got him, man. And coincidentally, man, that was crazy because I ran into that dude when that happened, man. I never saw him no more in the institution. I guess he went to the hospital and whatever they did to him, I never saw him no more.
What year was this when this took place?
This was like this was 99. 90, maybe like, I think it was like 98. It was like 98 or 99, somewhere up in that area. I went to Nottoway like in 99 or 2000. So when I get there, it's a couple of years later. And I see the dude. I run into him in the kitchen. And I see him and I immediately recognize because he had the big scar on his neck, on his face and stuff. And I seen him. And I was like, oh man, I was like, what's up? And he looked at me, he was like, oh, he was just thankful, man. He was like, man, I'm glad, man, you told me to leave that day, man. He's because I was still trying to fight, man. I was still trying to fight him, man. He was a sucker. He was trying to cut me, man. He said, man, look at me, man. He lifted his shirt up. He got the cuts on him and everything. He said, man, I almost died, man. I lost so much blood and everything, man. I was like, yeah, man, you lucky, man. I said, you got to pay attention. He said, but I couldn't even feel it when I was fighting. I couldn't feel it. He said, I thought he was punching me till I seen all the blood. I said, that's how it be when somebody cut you with a razor. You don't feel it because your adrenaline is flowing and the razor is so sharp that the cut is so fine that you don't even feel it until you actually start getting weak or you see that blood and you realize if you don't do something, you're going to die, you know. So, yeah, the dude did that to him, man, and he never even told on the dude, so the dude never got in trouble for what he did or nothing. So he took it like a soldier, but he going to wear them scars for the rest of his life, you know. But that's just how deadly and crazy something could get just like that. And it was just all because of a couple of words. You know, and that's how it be in prison. You say something to somebody, they say something to you, and then, you know, next thing you know, they want to fight. And then a fight is never just a fight in prison. It could be anything. You know, they start fighting, it can turn up deadly. So it's never what it seems, and you can never take nothing lightly. You know, that's why I tell people out here all the time when they say things to me, I guess that's part of my I don't know what you want to call it, coming from prison, part of some of my drawbacks and stuff like that too. I always tell people that, you know, I take things literally, you know what I'm saying, just because of where I come from. Hopefully in time that'll wear off and I can, you know, subside a little bit from that. But when people say things to me, I take it literally because I don't know if you mean it or if you joking. I don't know. Because where I come from, I didn't have the luxury of saying, okay, well, he just joking. Nah, I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? That could cause me everything. So when you say something, I got to take you seriously. And I have kind of had a carryover from there to here doing that. People saying things to me, but they just playing, but I think they serious. So, you know, I may be like, well, what do you mean or whatever? Or they like, I didn't mean it like that. I was like, okay, but I don't know because I don't know if you're serious or not. Because like I say, those are part of the things that come from you being, you know, in there for so long and living a certain way for so long that you used to that and you're not used to anything else. So that's how you react, that's how you respond, that's how you receive things when it may not be intended that way for you to receive it, you know. But like I say, I'm working on that and yeah, hopefully it'll subside, you know, because I know it's a whole different world out here than it is in there. But it's hard because you got to realize you come from in here and you live a certain way for so long, then you come right out here and you got to live a whole nother way. So it's like it's a crazy process because when you go in, you have to learn to live a whole nother way. Then when you come back out, you have to reverse that, you know. And then depending upon how long you was in there, ain't no telling how long that process may be. And then some people can't even adjust at all. You know, I know people that went in there, their mind ain't gonna never be right, you know. Yeah, that's one of the craziest things I seen, man. And these were young guys, man. These is young dudes like this. He got to wear that scarf the rest of his life. These dudes was like 19 and 20 years old, you know, playing deadly games like that where either one of them could have lost their life because of a couple of words. So, yeah, those are life lessons right there, man. And that's a life lesson he'll have to live with for the rest of his life, you know. So, yeah, that's one of the craziest things I've seen, man. Most definitely.
You know, sticking on this genre right here, I guess talking about crazy fights.
Right.
That one being seen in the prison shower and how you said that over just some words, these guys probably got to fighting behind that. You know, what do you think is one of the most crazy things that you saw guys getting to fighting over? Or maybe even one of the most trivial things, one of the most minute things that you saw somebody get to fighting behind?
Wow, that's a good question. And
I hate to say it like this. Like, what's the stupidest thing the guys got to fighting over?
Okay, when you ask that question, the first thing came to my mind is this incident that I will share with y'all. But it depends on how you look at it, whether it's trivial or not. To me, I would say it is. It's small, it's petty, but I seen it. But you got a person that's been in prison will probably look at it a lot different because of the surroundings and what they value in there. Well, I can remember when I was on Augusta. So you talking about maybe 5 years I'm in there. Maybe I'm in prison 5 years, 4 to 5 years. In prison, man, homosexual lifestyle is prevalent, is everywhere. You know what I'm saying? It's a part of prison life, and that's something that a person coming from society in there will be, that will overwhelm you when you see, you know what I'm saying, the type of relationships that they have in there. But you have to lock it in your mind that that's just what people do, and that's them, and that's that. You know, you can't get all crazy about it or whatever, because it's only gonna bring you drama. You know, you got to look at them as what they are, just regular human beings doing what they want to do. But when I first came in back in them days like that, you know, over the years it subsided. But when I first came in back in them days like that, them dudes that was messing with homosexuals, them homosexuals would not even talk to or even look at nobody else. They only talked to the person that they was dealing with, you know. So I can remember one day we was in the day room, and this guy came up to the homosexual was standing out there smoking a cigarette. And we could smoke in the pod and stuff back then. And he came up to him and asked him for a light. So the homosexual just looked at him and didn't answer. So he asked him again. He said, "Can I get a light? Let me get a light from you. You ain't hear me?" So he didn't answer him again, which, like I say, that's how they was. So he got mad. He cussed at him and called him names or whatever. So you ain't had to give me no light. Da 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 da. Said what he said to him and walked away. Man, this was like maybe 5, 6 feet away from me. So he sat there and he smoked his cigarette or whatever. A couple of minutes later, he went in his room, and he, you know, this is in retrospect, he must have went in there and told his man, his dude, what happened. And within, he went in that room, he probably was in that room probably a minute, 2 minutes. After that, the dude came out of the room. The dude that had cussed his peoples out was standing there smoking a cigarette. He came right up behind him with a knife, stabbed him in his neck. Boom, pulled it out. Blood shot out his neck like a water fountain. I mean, it was just spurting out. So he turned around and grabbed his neck, and he charged him again. He stabbed him again in the top of the chest. And he fell down to the ground, and he got on top of him, and he was getting ready to stab him again. He said, "I should kill you. I should kill you." You know what I'm saying? And he got up off of him, and he got up and walked back to his cell like it was just a casual, easy thing, like nothing ever happened. And I'm like in shock. I'm looking at this like, you know, what I'm saying, what is going on? And people in there is like, whoa. And all of that, when you say trivial, all of this was over a light in a few words. A light in a few words. So it's things like that, like I say, when you see things like that in prison, and that just sets your mind to a whole nother level, because you know you in a deadly environment, ultra deadly, and it's crazy because of the things that people value in there. You know what I'm saying? Versus what people value in real society and in real life. You know what I'm saying? To him, obviously it was worth it to him. You know what I'm saying? Because he paid a hell of a price for it. But when you look at it, it's like, I mean, it's an oxymoron. Because if you doing that because you wanted to be with the homosexual so bad, the flip part about it is you're not gonna be with them now anyway, because you going to jail. You know, and that's what happened. They got separated anyway because they came and locked him up. And he probably never was gonna see him again. You know, because when something that violent happens, they're gonna separate you, and you never gonna be around that person again to cause you that problem. That's what they usually do. Every now and then they slip up and they get back. People get back around people who done something to each other. I know dudes who stab dudes, and they put you on the keep separate list, and a couple of years later they make some type of slip up and they transfer the same person back to the institution where somebody stabbed him at, and that dude ended up stabbing him and almost killing him. And I've known 2 or 3 different incidents like that. So the administration would mess up their self and put you back around someone that you don't supposed to be around. But in normal operations, when some type of that level of violence occur between 2 people, anybody who's involved in it, they put you on an automatic keep separate list. Wherever you still doing time, you'll never run across that person again. That's the way it's supposed to be, but it don't always work out like that. And you know, just imagine if somebody stab you and then you know you can't do nothing to them, and then you run into them again. automatically you're gonna want to do something to him again. That's just the human nature of a man. He inflicted this amount of pain on you, then you want to do the same to him, if not more. So yeah, they make mistakes like that. But that dude right there, he almost killed that dude that dude that he stabbed in the neck and in the chest, he did not die. But I never saw him again either. But I heard he was messed up bad for the rest of his life. And it was all because he said a couple of words to somebody that didn't want to give him a cigarette, somebody who was instructed not to talk to anybody but him. So that's what you talking about when you talking about prison. If that ain't crazy to the average human being, then I don't know what is. But what I'm trying to let y'all know, in prison, that is considered normal behavior. And especially when I first went in, that was like normal behavior. Needless to say, I never spoke to him. I never spoke to anyone that I didn't want supposed to speak to, and somebody had to speak to me first before I even said anything to them, because I didn't know anybody when I first went in anyway. I probably ran into, my whole entire 33 years, I probably ran into less than 10 people that I actually ever knew before I went in there, or actually ever even heard of, or knew somebody that knew them. So yeah, so it was a crazy transition, and it was a crazy lifestyle to be living and to be watching it. And you have to learn as you go. It ain't no manual, it ain't nobody telling you, it is none of that. You got to learn as you go. So any mistakes you make can be deadly mistakes. Any mistakes you make can put you in a deadly situation. So it was a crazy time for me, man, and I'm just glad I made it through, because like I say, I know a lot of cats that went in with me that did not come out. And I know a lot of cats that went in with me that's still in there and still ain't got half the brain they had when they went in there, And that's no knock on nobody, because it ain't take but a second. I could have lost my mind, because I was close many a times, trust me, many a times, because that's just the type of pressure that you under when you in there. But man, I've seen some crazy stuff, man. But that was early. That was early in my bit. Within the first 5 years, when I seen that, it kind of like set the tone for me, for a lot of other things that was to come later on down the line. But that kind of like set the tone for me. That it won't doing no playing in there. It won't doing no joking at all. When it got to the point where someone grabbed that knife, it was serious, And at that time right there, anybody could lose their life that day. The person with the knife or the person he going at, because I've seen it both ways. I've seen dudes go at a dude with a knife and get it took from him, So yeah, it was a crazy lifestyle in there, man. But that's at the top of the list.
I want to ask you one more question, Banky, and I want to change it up just a little bit. Think about visitation. You went to visit quite a bit while you were locked up. What do you remember of a crazy situation that took place either because of a visit or at visit? I can only imagine where this could go.
Yeah, you got some good questions there, Joe. I won't prepare for none of these, but you got some good questions, because I got some good answers too, man. I can I tell you one that first popped in my mind. This dude ended up being my cell partner a couple of years after, or before, yeah, after. A couple of years after this incident, I was on Sussex 2, and I was in the visiting room with my then wife and my mother. We was just sitting down and we was having a nice visit, enjoying ourselves or whatnot, eating and talking. And this dude in there, I don't even want to say his name. I just say big S, man. He was in there, man, because I don't know if he's still locked up or not. He was in there with a girl, and he was like one of the biggest dudes on the compound. I mean, he's a young dude at the time. He's like 30 something, but he was big, man. He big like bodybuilding big, right? Probably about 6'2", about 240, big guy, right? He was in there with a girl, and he just sitting in there talking, and they enjoying themselves, and they sitting like adjacent to us. Next thing you know, which they don't supposed to do, but like I just told y'all prior, people slip up. The administration slip up a lot. They're supposed to warn you if you got a visit and somebody else come to see you, they'll let you know, or they will ask you, do you want someone else to come in if you are already in the process of a visit. But evidently they didn't do that with him. And next thing you know, this lady come walking in, and she's walking up to them, and she stops and she's just paused, and she just standing there and she looking. And he looks up and he sees her, and he was like, come on, sit down, man. Don't act crazy. Cause come on, sit down. We talk. So she just started looking at him, and she just staring. And then she started walking over there slowly. And as she started walking over there slowly, and she stands in front of him, which is right beside us, she said, I don't even know if I can say everything she said, but it was at the point of, so you mean to tell me you got the audacity to have this bee up in here, and you know that I might come up here, and you got so the girl that was sitting there with him, she gets up and she starts walking the other way. So she said, yeah, B, you better leave. So he said, look, don't make no scene, just go ahead and sit down, stop making all that noise. She said, man, you don't tell me what to do, you don't got the right to tell me nothing no more. And she had a bag full of money that, you know, you bring in for the change machine. And she took that bag full of money and hit him right in the face with it. Boom! And it hit him in the face, and money just popped out everywhere. So it's crazy, and it started getting chaotic. She got super loud. So the police came over there, and they like trying to tell, look, calm down, calm. She said, don't touch me, don't tell me to calm down. He was like, look, calm down, sit down, sit down. She was like, shut up, you MF, you ain't nothing. I've always took care of you, I've been here. Now you let her take care of you, because I ain't dealing with you no more. You a sucker, you trying to play me. I don't play that. I can do bad without you, I don't need you, da 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 da. So they trying to hold it. She trying to grab a chair and pick it up and hit him with the chair. And he's just sitting in there, he's just taking it all, because he can't move, because you know, we convicts, we locked up, we don't supposed to get out of our seats. So he's just sitting in there, he's like, calm down, calm down. And the people is trying to restrain her, and she's snapping out, she's cussing, she's yelling, she's kicking. She is his wife. And she came up there, and he was in there with his baby mama. And they do not like each other, and evidently she wasn't supposed to be up there. So she ended up popping up. I think he thought she was at work. She had got off work to come see him. She come in there, he in there. She let him have it. She threw that money in his face when they was holding her and trying to get her out. They was telling her, you gotta leave. But they weren't really trying to manhunt her because she's a civilian. And, you know, they ain't gonna do them like they do us. If it was us, they'd be trying to, you know, break a limb or something. So they tried to let her go, so she acted like she was leaving. She doubled back. She walked up to him, man, and she started cussing him out some more. And then she just punched him all in the face 2 or 3 times. Boom, 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 boom. And he just was taking it like a man, you know what I'm saying? And she bagged up off of him. She said, you ain't never got to worry about me talking to you no more. F you. I don't want to see you no more. Go ahead and deal with this raggedy broad right here. And she stormed up out of that joint. And money all over the floor. Everybody in the visiting room looking at him. I know he had heat flashes because of all the attention on him, but it was crazy. This was right beside my mother and my wife. We sitting right here beside him looking at him, close as me and you are. It was just crazy. Money popped all over on our table and everything. But yeah, that was a wild visitation incident, you know, and it was crazy. It was super crazy, man. But yeah, I remember that. And then a couple of years later, that same dude ended up being my cellie. He was my cellie for probably about maybe 4 months. And that's the first thing I asked him about. I was like, man, you remember when I was in the visit with you? And the lady threw the money, and that's how I knew it was his wife. And he told me the backstory behind it or whatnot. So that's how I knew all the intricate part about it. But I seen it with my own eyes, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, so, and crazy thing, even crazier than that, he said they was back together. Said they was back together, you know what I'm saying? So, shout out to him if he out there and he see this, man. You know I know who you are, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't say your name, but you know who it is. But yeah, that was crazy to me. And I've seen some crazy incidents in the visiting room. Crazy incidents, man. And shoot, I've been in one or two myself, but yeah, that's the first thing that popped to my mind right there. You know, that's the first thing that popped to my mind, man. But that visiting room get crazy, man, because you got to think, man, you dealing with people's people, man. So the emotions is high, the adrenaline is high, You know, then you got somebody that's coming in there that's looking good or they fine or whatever, they your loved one or they your sister or whatever, then you know the type of people in there, they looking and they ogling over your people, or some of them will be so bold as to try to say something to your people. Oh man, that junk can get deadly crazy in there, man. Deadly crazy in there. So yeah, yeah, that was the incident that popped straight in my head, but it's several of those, man. That visiting room is that's sacred ground right there, man. You know, that's sacred ground right there. I mean, police, everybody in there. You got to be on your best behavior in there, because you got to understand that people in there, their emotions are going to be high with anything that goes wrong in there, because they're in front of their family, you know, which they rarely are. So, yeah, that's a tricky place right there, man.
Banky, I want to go ahead and wrap this up. You know, stirring these memories with you.
Yeah.
Probably give you some good ideas for some stories that you could share on Banky Pound on your YouTube channel.
Absolutely, absolutely. And which I'm going to do, I'm going to start putting out some more story times on Banky Pound, so stay tuned. I'm definitely going to be doing some more cooking. I just been held up right now because, like I told you, I was trying to give y'all the best product possible. I don't have these cameras and things right now. I only got the phone. And what I've been putting out with you has been with the phone, but I'm in the process. I'm waiting right now to get this camera and stuff, and I'm gonna try to give y'all better production and try to give y'all some quality work, some quality stories, some quality talk, some quality conversation, because that's what I want to do. I want to engage with y'all, and I want y'all to engage with me, man, so we can grow together and learn together and try to be better people. You know, so that's what I'm trying to do. So just be patient with me. I'm learning on the fly. Got a good teacher. I got Joe. So everything gonna be all right. Y'all see Joe know what he's doing. I'm just learning, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna be okay. So I appreciate y'all patience. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. And I appreciate all my supporters.
We're definitely gonna get you right.
Absolutely.
Banky, it's good as always to see you. Good to see you doing well out here, loving life.
Absolutely.
And definitely looking forward to seeing what's coming next with you.
Absolutely. Loving life to the fullest. I suggest all y'all do the same out there. Put a lot more energy into positivity, man, and go ahead on and starve negativity. Starve it to death. You know, we don't need it. Don't nobody need it. Let's just go straight positive, man. So that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to promote. So hopefully everybody out there is on board with me. Hopefully I get some more followers on Instagram and Facebook. Come over there and join me. Hopefully I get some more subscribers over there on Banky Pound. Come on over there. We doing the same thing over there. We promoting positivity and we starving negativity. So that's what I want y'all to do, man. So be safe out there, be smart, and make good decisions out there, man. We're gonna try to make everything positive vibe, and we're gonna keep that going forward, man, and keep the ball rolling, let it get bigger and bigger and bigger till it becomes contagious, man. So we have less hate in this world. You know, that's what we're trying to do.
Powerful words. And again, I look forward to getting with you real soon.
For sure. Shout out to Dave, man, Dave's World, man. Shout out to After Prison Show, man. And at Banky Pound, come over there and join me, man. I appreciate y'all, man. God bless.